It seemed like
He goes out there, them guys.
it seemed like you did, you know.
No. I had to go grab something. Life and death are simple formalities. There's no way around it. Boop, boop, boop. A new shirt. What are y'all talking about?
It don't
Y'all be
seem
out
like
here
the same
tripping.
shirt. Okay, well,
Y'all be out here tripping.
we do a lot of free range pharmaceuticals.
Hey yo, did you just say we do a lot of hot drugs? Is that
I said free range. I said
you
free
got way too
range
much dip on your chip.
pharmaceutical. First of all, free
You
range
dipping way too much
is
chipping.
nope. It's organic.
Hey,
it's no.
Hey man,
It is organic and farm raised.
I
in a
know
farm.
I know
In a
if it's
farm,
all
yes.
connected, it
is
one
raised.
chip, but
it is
but, sir,
fertilized organically, and it is clipped
like life and death is simple formalities.
and burnt the way that the Lord intended it to be burnt.
Okay. You got more dip than chip. Fuck out of here with that. You said free range. What the fuck? How do you get free range dope?
I said marijuana was free range.
Same thing,
I
fam.
said it was organic.
I go to this place called a dispensary,
Yo.
and they
You said drug.
and they
said
range
free
it.
range pharmaceutical. Yeah,
You said drugs.
I said pharmaceuticals.
I said drugs because
Yeah,
she
you
said
said
pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, you said drugs. She
I
said
forgot. Oh, wait.
pharmaceuticals.
I forgot. We're using our professional words tonight. You're right. Pharmaceuticals. You're right. We're using our professional words tonight.
It is a pharmaceutical. In Kentucky, I can get a prescription for it.
Hey. We have a future congresswoman on this damn panel. We cannot be talking about free range pharmaceuticals.
I was the one that said that she.
It's professional night. God damn it.
It's
professional night.
Oh my gosh.
I was the.
It's professional night.
Isn't she in DC right now?
Did we
I
not
actually
say
just
this is
flew back
professional
home
night?
from DC.
Oh, okay, never
I
mind.
got
she's
home
on.
around 6
What?
o'clock.
What?
Oh, okay.
What?
I've been
It's
home by
professional
3
night.
hours.
It's professional night. We acting professional. Acting so professional. It's professional night. Do.
Yeah, we're gonna be professional. I'm not gonna go to the freezer tonight. I'll go to the freezer tomorrow.
It's professional night, man. We don't. This show doesn't get future congresswomen. This show gets people. You know what I mean, like we
I
on
was
TikTok.
wondering where
Like
that
we
was
get
going.
TikTok.
First of
people.
all, okay, we've done
Okay.
good. Okay, we've interviewed. Okay, I've interviewed a woman whose husband was an ICE detainee. Okay,
Yes.
we've had some podcasters on here. We've had me
Yes.
on here as a guest.
And I'm so glad. But it was a future congresswoman
Yes.
from my district. So she's your co-host.
Well, we've had
She's gonna be
breast
my
cancer
congresswoman from my
survivors.
district. Come on now. We've had some.
The father of somebody that lost a
Lost their
child.
life in
Lost a child at
Uvalde.
Yes,
We've had some emotional shows.
we've had the mother of
Stop
Garrett Foster on this show.
Stop undercutting us.
I'm just saying.
Had some
Yes,
good
and
shows.
we had a gentleman. Well, we had him back to back because he
But
kind of made me mad, so I had to get Barbara Walters
Can
on
we be
it.
professional? Yes. Are we
And,
professional?
yeah.
Not really.
Now, I'm
Come on
professional.
now.
Okay, when it's time for me to be a
Yes.
journalist, I'm professional. Now, with Walt, here's
A
the
word?
disclaimer. Here is the disclaimer. Did I mean to break him? No. Do I regret
Oh
it?
shit, she went and got the
Still
red light.
no.
Damn. Now,
Ow!
all right.
Mm.
Listen, we are officially on the damn radio now, ladies and gentlemen. It's professional night, and we're gonna act like professional people to do professional thing because we have a professional on this panel. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you know what time it is. It is time for the Villain's View on GCPR and streaming exclusively on Ghost Claw Entertainment and on our YouTube channel, GCPR. I do not know whether or not we're on the TikToks. Who really cares? We'll end up getting some troll that'll say something about MAGA mommy or whatever. My name is Thomas Bishop. I'm known as the Villain. I Let me introduce you to our rogues gallery of co-hosts. To my immediate left is the man with the crispiest beard in the Midwest. He's just the nicest human being you could ever meet. And I'm not saying that because he's my friend. I am saying that because it is absolutely true. I know him as my brother Nate. You will know him as General Gambit. Say hello to the people, please.
Good evening, everybody. Let's have a wonderful show.
Aha! To my immediate right is Mrs. I Sell All the Records. And she kind of does. She brings more flavor to this show than any one of the three of us really ever had. She is the host of the Taz Effect every weekday, getting your news and information out there promptly. We know her. I know her as my sister. You will know her as Miss Taz J. Say hello to the people, please.
Hey, everybody.
To my bottom,
Professional.
I know we're doing professional. To my bottom right,
Professional.
to my bottom right is the angriest IT nerd on the East Coast. He hosts so many shows on this network. It is a wonder that he even has time to sleep, and I don't think that he does.
Ridiculous.
I know him as Gilbert. You will know him as the angry IT nerd. Say hello to the people, please. See? All go 13, baby. Very professional. Very professional. And we are in our
illustrious guest for this evening.
You weren't gonna let me do it. I was on a roll.
No, you know her on TikTok
Professional.
as the controversial blonde, but in real life, one, she is an illustrious, soon to be extremely acclaimed mental health professional. And she decided not just to talk the talk, but to walk the walk and throw her hand into a congressional race, because not only do the people of Georgia deserve proper representation, but Black women deserve to have a voice, and have one that is the epitome of being the most educated demographic to date. And when she wins, she will be making history as one of two of the youngest women to run. And that is
We don't do horns. It's professional. We don't do horns.
Thomas.
You going, we don't do horns. It's professional night.
Thomas.
Thomas.
I'm a horn.
Thomas.
I'm a horn you.
Anywho, let her be professional. Let her be professional, damn it.
That sounds nasty.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna put all of y'all in the corner.
I just say it.
And we present to you with a hearty welcome to the Villain's View, Miss Bree Woodson.
I would
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
We're good.
Doing well, thank you.
We're
doing quite well, thank you.
Applause button, but
oh,
don't work.
Thomas.
Well, thank y'all for having me.
Thomas, Superman does good. You do well. Learn your grammar. We're professional tonight.
You're right. Professional. You're right.
I appreciate y'all having me.
No, we appreciate you actually stopping by. And,
sure.
and first question out of the gate, and then I'm pretty sure Taz will go ahead and do her professional interview. I asked you this before the show started this evening. You know, there was a pre-show. Did you want to run for Congress before or after old Tory Barnum? I'm learning how to say her name professionally. Did the stunt that she did with Hayan, and then I will just mute.
So honestly, that's a layered question and answer, right? So I've been doing the political activism online digitally since the end of January, admittedly by accident. I did not mean to go viral, but it happens. And that just spurred into an entire platform. And between TikTok and Instagram, my platform holds about 90,000 people, which is something that's difficult to do when you speak about Black history as fervently as I do. So it's been a wonderful ride, and a lot of cool things, opportunities have arisen. This being one of them. So as I've been shifting into more of a boots on the ground kind of perspective, and filling up spaces in my local community, I'm also the Georgia lead for FAFO, Fight Against Fascism organization. I'm trying to reboot the Young Dems of Hall County, Georgia. So I am very passionate in this moment about being active in the space as just as much as I am active digitally. And so while I was spurring into this situation just coincided. And I remember making a video on TikTok. I said, is someone going to step up? And, you know, it slipped my mind until my great friend Verda reminded me that in Georgia, you don't have to necessarily reside in the district to run for the district and represent it well. And so when I got that shift, I said, I can try. And so that has just spurred me into this. And that's how we got here in this moment.
Okay. So see, there's my professional question.
Well, let's rewind things a little bit. Let's take it from the beginning and bring it up to date, because we really want people to get to know you and understand everything that you bring to the table and all of the dynamics. Now, well before campaign talk or anything else, you were in the process of putting together a practice. Tell people about that.
Oh yeah, what I do during the day, right? So I am a counselor in residency. I'm finishing my master's in clinical mental health counseling from the University of Cumberland. I will walk December 15th. I'm ready to be done. But in particular, I'm a substance use therapist, and it's something I'm really passionate about. But also what I'm passionate about is providing clinical experiences for people that may have had previously bad experiences, people who feel that their voices aren't heard or represented well. So that was where my journey was going, or so I thought.
Okay. Taz, is it okay if I go ahead and professionally read the Smoking Hot news? I just want to make sure I don't want to mess up the flow. And just, you know, she worked really hard to get this together. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I will read to you the Smoking Hot news brought to us by Smoking Hot Mess Jess. She is our showrunner extraordinaire. Using my professional voice. This week in the news, Detroit Free Press, there was a mass shooting in Grand Blanc, Michigan this morning at the Church of Latter-day Saints. The gunman plowed into the church with his Silverado truck and opened fire with hundreds of patrons in attendance. At least 2 people are dead, including the gunman, and 9 others are being treated. This information may change as they are still assessing the damage. The church was set on fire as well and was completely destroyed. They aren't sure how many people have been trapped in the blaze. Authorities believe the gunman started the fire prior to ramming his vehicle into the church. This is the second church shooting in Michigan since June. Really tragic day in America. From USA Today, a government shutdown is possible on October 1st. To get Democrats to avoid a government shutdown, President Trump is threatening to fire thousands of workers if the shutdown happens. Mass firings will be blamed on Democrats as well as the shutdown itself. We have yet to see how the Democrats will respond to the threat from Trump. So far, it seems they have bent to his will.
Surprise,
Quite disappointing.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise. Hey, we don't surprise. I'm professional. NBC News. President Trump tells Pam Bondi she should prosecute James Comey. Days later, Comey is charged with making a false statement and obstruction of a congressional proceeding. The charges stem from testimony Comey gave at a congressional hearing in 2020. Comey denies any wrongdoing and stands by his statement. This is just another authoritarian act on Trump's part as he steps further into a dictatorship by prosecuting his perceived enemy. USA Today, the superintendent for the Des Moines public schools have been detained by ICE. Ian Roberts was arrested on Friday. We are told ICE will be going after criminals, and so far that has not been the case. ICE has been going hard after hard workers and longtime immigrants who pose zero threat to the communities. It is unclear whether they target Ian Roberts, but his job history shows that he's clearly not a criminal. And finally, from the BBC News, Assata Shakur, a former Black Panther Party and Black liberation activist, dies at 78 in Cuba. She escaped the New Jersey prison in 1979, fearing for her life, claiming she would never see justice with an all-white jury. In 1984, she reappeared in Cuba and was granted asylum by former President Fidel Castro. She helped by becoming an involved political activist fighting racism and injustice in America. She also took part in developing schools and other social services for Black people. She maintained her innocence till the day she died. May she rest in peace. And that has been the Smoking Hot News from the Smoking Hot Mess, Jess.
And given that we have this quick caveat, the leader of the Latter-day Saints, aka the Mormons, passed away recently, like over the weekend, at like 102 many years old. He was 102. I'm not.
Yo,
102 many. Too soon.
Yeah.
yo,
Too soon.
Goddamn.
damn. Like professional night. You just gonna
AKA have a master, so 102 many years old. So keep that in mind. So, and a lot of times when it's white on white crime in the church, they got a bone to pick with their own church. So I say that to say, racists, don't come after us Black folks. We ain't got nothing to do with this. Okay, we're out of the chat. Okay,
Hey,
we are
Big
chilling at
we-
home.
in our chat said 100.
Said we were not
sitting at
included.
home
We were not
creating
included
line
in the signal
dances
chat.
Yeah,
for
we weren't in that
everything.
signal chat.
Because I saw somebody make a line dance for a Michael Jackson song. Okay, when we said we was taking PTO, we took this a little too far.
Whoa. Did you saw people doing what to a Michael Jackson song?
A line
Yeah,
dance.
line dance to a Michael. Yeah.
What Michael Jackson song?
I'll send it to you after the show.
If
There's a
I'm not
couple of them.
mistaken, it was Beat It.
Yeah, they got Beat It. They got a couple of them. Smooth Criminal. It's a couple
Y'all are
of them.
testing my professionalism.
I haven't seen the
Oh, no,
Smooth
don't
Criminal
worry.
one, but I do remember.
First
I do
of
remember
all,
one.
With that,
We
with
haven't
that,
even
don't do
gotten
that.
to the segment of the
Ghost,
show
I owe
where
you
Taz
Coke.
breaks Thomas. But I say that to say this, and we had, of course, this came along with yet another shooting. So, given that you are running for Congress, one of the major issues that Capitol Hill seems to be at odds with the populace on is comprehensive gun control. What is your stance on comprehensive gun control?
I am an advocate for our 2A rights. I believe they were established for a reason, and I hold the Constitution in high regard, and as such, we should adhere to it, and 2A rights are in our Constitution. However, I think we need to look at the lines of history and understand that I don't believe that our founding fathers intended or understood or had the wherewithal to see into the future and see what guns could become, right? And so with that being said, I do think there should be some kind of comprehensive gun control. If you look at the rates of how many children are losing their lives, if you look at the rates of how many adults are losing their lives, look at what happened to an individual just a few weeks ago on a very public stage.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
what is, I think, what's more important to lean into is the violence and the pain that it leaves behind, and dig from the root of it. There has to be some kind of measure that we need to put in place. Stronger background checks, for starters.
Yeah.
Mental health checks. Those are things I strongly believe in.
Are you of the impression that I am that America has never really gotten over its PTSD of 9/11? I'm probably alone in that, but I don't think America has really gotten through the trauma of 9/11. And then you couple that with the fact that 5 years after that event, they were still showing the entire day's activities over and over again. Like the year after 9/11, we had to watch 9/11. The
Yeah.
2 years after 9/11, we had to watch 9/11 again, and they did this for 5
where were
years.
you when the
Yeah.
towers fell?
And we're talking every news channel,
Where were
ABC,
you when this
NBC,
happened? Where were you when
CBS,
this happened?
Fox.
For 10 years.
Yeah, they showed. They didn't show a clip of. They showed the entire day. Like NBC, we had to listen to Brian Gumbel say there's a plane that's hit the second tower. We all had to watch them go down. We had to watch people falling out.
But the conversation surrounding 9/11 is a very tiered conversation, because the conversation regarding 9/11 is less about gun control and more about the white supremacy that still has the United States in a chokehold. Because even with all of the depictions, all of the movies, they have literally whitewashed the heroes. The movie, by the title of 9/11, portrays that hero as being white when that was a black man. The reason why it was talked about so much is because it was a brown scare. United States united in Islamophobia, in xenophobia,
Yep.
and that's what perpetuated it.
But I also bring it back to the gun control debate, because it seems like we bought more weapons. Like to understand America's gun problem, you have to look at it from the standpoint of this. Only about 8 to 10% of Americans own a large majority of the weapons. And a lot of them really do honestly believe that one day they will have to take down a quote unquote tyrannical government. But in the process of these people making these arsenals, people get hurt. We just talked about it. A man drove a truck into a Church of Latter-day Saints, lit the building on fire, and still that wasn't enough. It wasn't enough that he did it. He's like, hey, let me bust a couple of rounds. So Bree, as a congresswoman, you're going to be approached by people like the NRA.
How long did it take for them to label them as trans too?
Oh, we haven't heard it yet, but it's not like it won't happen.
What about? I'm pretty sure I heard it already.
Yeah,
earlier.
That was chatter. It wasn't like official.
Lord. So
Bree, I heard somebody on TikTok accuse it.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's chatter. I'm saying it's not official from like law enforcement.
You know what?
Yeah.
TikTok. I know we are big on it, but it probably does need to go. TikTok has turned into Vine with violence. Like, you know what I mean? So Bree, as a congresswoman, we're just going to go ahead and say you have been elected to the United States Congress. You understand that the gun lobby they might not have the numbers, but they do have the weight, and they somehow scare the dog shit out of every congressperson. What would be your way to counterbalance that? Because like you said, we do need comprehensive gun control, but we live in America, and you know, the NRA, all of the NRA has to say is the black lady want to take your weapons. And so what is your comeback for that?
So I think with everything, using language carefully and intentionally is important. And so I think getting the message across that it's not to take away is very, 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 very important. There's a way to convey a path. There's a way to convey where we want to go. And I think that finding that language and pointing it towards direction and buttressing it with compassion. What we're seeing now is brutality. And one thing I lean into heavily is criticism without compassion is just brutality. And I think that's all something that Americans can agree on. Mm-hmm. And if we can start to focus less on the back and forth about that you're taking my rights, you're taking my guns, and lean more into the reality of people are getting hurt, people are being harmed, and that is where it needs to stop. it doesn't have to be a narrative where people lose their rights, lose their weaponry, but let's talk more about the pain and the violence, that violence begets violence, and go from there.
Okay.
I like it.
Here, per the founding fathers, our Constitution was to be revisited and revised every 20 years. Is this something that you would bring to the floor as a way of helping with comprehensive gun control? Because to review it and update the Constitution itself for the times could very well be a good step in the right direction.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something to think about. Absolutely. That's a great question.
Because 20
I
years
am-
from now, we could have phasers.
Did you say we could have lasers?
Yeah, exactly.
20 years from now, we could have phasers.
Exactly.
I mean,
And right, exactly.
we
So
could have our own TARDIS.
and then because of the nature of those, they supersede the Constitution because they don't fall under arms.
Let's be
As
real. In
defined-
20 days, if given enough Mountain Dew and enough sugar and left unsupervised long enough, I could create some tasers and some phasers. Let's be real.
Well,
we
set
need
phasers
If
for
you that-
fun.
we need
Let's
comprehensive
go.
we need comprehensive controls for me.
Listen, you are the
Look at
perfect
that,
example
Ghost.
of
It was
comprehensive goddamn Mountain Dew control. Like, hey, you can have a sip you can have a cap full of that shit a day.
No, but
Any more than
seriously,
that,
like,
if you
20
pour it
years
into
from
a
now,
shot
the way
glass, goddamn it.
the way technology works, we could be dealing with something that is not a combustible item, that is more of a laser or whatever you or a sonic, emission. So it doesn't fall under the category of a
yeah.
combustible.
Well-
It still is an arm, but they could supersede the Constitution that way.
Yeah.
Okay,
hold
So-
on, real
so
quick.
what-
To the people viewing that see what Babe is putting in the comment section, don't let him call you and send you over here to supervise me. Just say no. Leave me to my own devices.
Ladies and gentlemen, the
No,
further
don't listen to her.
adventures of
She
the
needs
relationship
supervision.
That is Taz and Chaos, or Chaos and Taz, depending on your day of week.
And don't
there-
But
listen.
But yeah,
No,
in that
don't
case,
Listen,
should-
do not
should
follow
it
up
be
behind Taz.
revised
No.
every 20 years or so.
But to actually answer the question, though, I think when we start looking at the limits of time, right, we also have to look at the other parts in the Constitution where things are time limited. And if you understand my meaning,
Yes,
Yeah.
I just for
So-
shits and giggles, I did that. I see what you're talking about, though. There are other
Yeah.
parts, like the idea of quartering a soldier. That's an amendment we don't have to worry about. Like, if we don't
Well,
like,
no,
I mean, there's certain
no.
time limits on.
No, because
Voting amendments, right?
Because we thought
So-
we didn't, but remember, just a couple, like all these National Guard soldiers that are coming
Mhm.
up. Whenever are we putting them in barrack housing, or are we putting them in hotels and motels?
we're putting them in tents.
Are we?
And I
in
know
parking
exactly
lots
sure?
right now.
Yeah,
You
parking
sure?
lot
Is
tents, and I know
everybody sure
exactly
about
which
that?
tents they are.
Everybody sure
And-
about that?
I'm if the
Because
National Guard is any different, if active duty is any different or no different than if the Guard is no different than active duty, and not only do I know what tents they're in, I know how they put them up. I smashed a damn finger trying to put one of them things up, and that's the most ridiculous thing I ever seen. These are National Guard units that are on our streets that are patrolling, and the federal government doesn't even give a shit about them enough to put them in hotel. No, they going, hey, pitch that tent. Go over there, pitch that tent. Which is the
And
most
I don't know
ridiculous
if you
shit.
all are aware of the time limit, the 29 days.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, they're being put on 29-day rotations. so they
which
don't
is
even
kind
get
of
paid.
that is the most. I think that's why I am really, really kind of upset with our elected leader. Because if you're going to give this petulant child assistant in the White House everything, fine. He wants the National Guard on the streets. Okay, put the National Guards on the street. But to only give them 29-day rotations because he's also a cheapskate. Like, I'm sorry, Donald, you need to make a decision. You want to be strong, you want to be big man, strong man, and have the troops on the street. Cool, great, fantastic. Then pay them.
Pay 'em.
Because if you're only going to keep them on the street for 29 days so that you don't have to put them on active duty and then pay them, you can't be a grown-up cheapskate and a loud man baby. You got to make a decision.
No,
you got to pick a lane,
no,
bro.
This is exactly what he's done his entire career. He's not paid for his employees.
Yes. That's disrespectful, though.
Now he's figured out a way that he could do it legally.
That is the most and back to you, Bree. You would have to work. You're running as a Democrat, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You would have to work with somebody like Hakeem Jeffries. I'm not asking this of you. I'm not asking you to say anything that might actually jeopardize your chances to win the nomination. But do you see mistakes that Hakeem Jeffries is making as the Democratic House leader that you would be able to fix, rectify, or what have you if you became a congressman?
So I think the voice of the people here is what matters the most. And as someone who wants to be an extension of the people, I want to hear what the people are saying. I want to hear what the people are hurting for and needing for. I think it's less about who an individual is and less about their actual position and more about, are the people being heard? Are the people being listened to?
Yeah.
And if that person, regardless of who it is, if the answer is no, then, well, we have our answer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we do have to ask a couple of the big questions out there.
Go right ahead.
Let's start with one and then we'll work our way up. Would you either file articles of impeachment or co-sign on articles of impeachment, and would you follow through and push for removal regarding Trump?
Damn. Damn.
Okay.
But see,
I cannot appear to be one-sided. I have to ask the same questions I ask all candidates.
But Taz, that might actually hurt her chances to get the nomination.
She can decline, but I have to ask.
Hey, I'm just saying, because she is running. Like, you can't.
Well, I will.
You ain't supposed to tell anything what she's supposed to do when you get to office. You gotta.
I understand that, but she is also the third
I'm
candidate.
Thomas.
Yeah, she's the third candidate
she's
that I've
going to need to
interviewed,
answer this
and
question.
I have to be.
She's going to need to answer this question eventually.
I am willing to answer, and the answer is yes.
Okay, you
See,
heard
I
it here
like
first.
that answer.
Hold on,
And like I
you
said-
heard it here first on the Villain's View.
And like I said, moving up through the progression, because it's not just quick history note before I go into this line of questions, so everybody's on the same page, and it's more for people watching than people on the panel. The checks and balances within the federal government of the United States goes beyond just the three branches being able to check and balance one another.
Mhm.
You hear the term lifetime appointment. That is not necessarily true. Any and everyone can be removed from office through the process of impeachment. That includes people that are on SCOTUS.
Mhm.
So with that being said, given that we have three justices that have committed impeachable offenses, most notably lying during their confirmation, would you join in on impeachment proceedings regarding them?
Good question. You like asking later questions, don't you?
You know this.
He
she's the
certainly
bar-
does.
She's the Barbara Wawa of this place.
Bree, this is not the first time I've interviewed you. You know this.
She's the
I
Barbara
know.
Wawa of this place.
And you know I love you, but you know when I interview, I have to be impartial.
Okay.
I'm actually going to decline to answer that one.
Okay?
Damn. I see.
Okay.
See?
Now,
Right there.
no, still have to ask. And like I said, we're climbing up this mountain, and then we'll come back down.
Running up that hill.
Another thing that has to be asked.
I hear him do that.
Do you support a two-party system for Israel and Palestine?
Are you trying to get us killed? What's wrong with you? APAC will blow up my goddamn house right now. You don't understand? If my Zoom goes down, we're not on the show anymore. So if this goddamn shed gets on fire because APAC done it,
If APAC ain't blown me up yet, we're fine. But
when
to ask.
they're scaling off the burned skin of my 4th degree burns, I'm gonna be like, this to me.
UBIB.
What am I gonna do? Walk it off?
We have to ask.
So,
I know you
UBIB.
have to ask, but I do reserve the right to decline this one too, friend.
Yes. She peed. up the-
Understandable. Now, we're going to bring it back on the domestic side of things. Right now in Georgia, there was an opportunity not just for increased employment for a particular district, but increased education. And with the Hyundai plant, that is something that a lot of people are missing, that it wasn't just about the employment, it was people gaining knowledge regarding an industry, well, a subset of an industry that they didn't know. Do you have any ideas on, if not South Korea, but how to help broker more industries coming into that district, into Georgia, to not just bring jobs, but to make people more well-rounded employees?
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of my favorite things to talk about because I get to talk about rural counties. I am from small town rural areas. I live in one. Even when I lived in Colorado, I lived in one. I like small rural towns. And one thing you notice is everybody leaves their small rural town. And I actually think that we need to start supporting the businesses there. I do think that people are tired of the same old solution of just go to college and it'll get better, right? People are less about that and more about trades and apprenticeships. So how about we provide incentives to small local businesses to offer apprenticeships so people can stay local and build up their communities, build up something, create jobs within themselves and expand.
I tend to agree. I genuinely tend to agree. I do. We don't have. You being a person from a small town though, and this is my little bit of a pushback on it. See, I was raised in Kansas City. It's a city. I've always lived in cities my whole life. Do you think that the mentality of small town Americana has to change? Because in our advertisements, the way our politicians talk to us, the way corporations, feed us these things, small town America is looked at, this is the greatest place ever. It's small towns. But there's no industry in those small towns. So do you think it also has to be one of those things that the mentality of small town people have to change, meaning like they have to demand more and better than simply the same old, John Cougar Mellencamp song next to a Winn-Dixie that's broken? Do you think is also in addition to, bringing jobs there, but they also have to change the mentality?
Yeah. So mentality subsequently comes with change, right? So we have to grow and expand in some way, shape, or form. But I think when we talk about helping people get to a point of growth and change, it's about how we give them the education for it in the first place. If someone doesn't know how to advocate for themselves, how can they advocate for their neighbor or their community? Right?
Right? They some people just don't. Some people do not know how to advocate for themselves. They don't. It's never been one of those situations where they've had to. I think that has always been the biggest disconnect between rural areas and big cities.
And I also want to say this. It's also very much, you kind of touched on it a little bit. It's also about how we use language and how we speak to people.
Mhm.
We can absolutely be firm on the goal, but flexible on the method. And I think we need to adopt that more. So part of my day job as a substance use therapist is I teach psychoeducational groups, right? So
Okay.
I can teach a room up to 25 people. I can have someone with a CEO background and someone who came from a life on the streets, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get the option of saying, oh, well, you don't agree with what I'm saying? Leave my group room. I don't get that option. But you know what I get the grand pleasure of doing? Adjusting my language so that everyone in that room comes to a full circle moment of understanding. And suddenly we understand the neuroscience behind addiction and how the prefrontal cortex interacts with the amygdala, right? So if I can break that down to varying backgrounds of up to 25 people in a room, I think if we can start to deepen those lines, deepen those roots, we will start to see the mentality and the growth and the change that we so desperately need.
Now, speaking of people properly advocating for themselves, right now we're seeing an influx of farmers and generally family lineage farmers that are learning that they don't know how to properly advocate for themselves because they've lost revenue due to the dismantling of USAID. Do you have any ideas on two things? One, how to teach farmers how to properly advocate for themselves, and two, how to reinstate USAID.
So the first part, definitely providing community programs for farmers, geared towards farmers,
Mm-hmm.
to help them understand. And this just goes back into what I was saying previously about adjusting language so people can understand, right? So people can learn in a way that's tangible and accessible for them, in the way that makes the most sense. You know, when you have stacks of legalese paperwork in front of a farmer who might not understand it, that's intimidating, it's overwhelming, and it leads to inaction and to a functional freeze. And that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a way to reduce that into something that makes sense, that is digestible, and so it doesn't produce those feelings of overwhelm. So farmers can feel like they can fill up spaces, they can go into town halls and address their leaders, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can go into rooms and advocate for themselves. They can pick up those phones and say, hey, this is wrong. I need this to happen, right? And so when we talk about putting it on the floor, again, it's about language and putting it in policy. How do we write it? But it's definitely something. What's up?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, go ahead. I apologize. I'm sorry.
No, but I definitely appreciate that question because the farmers are not being talked about enough right now. So I appreciate that.
I'm a brass tacks kind of guy, so I'm going to go ahead and ask this question. You're elected to Congress in 2026. Would you push for a Nuremberg-style trial of all ICE agents in America? I mean, you don't have to answer. You don't. You really don't.
You know, I'm gonna take
God.
a second to actually think about that one.
Because that one's a rough one.
Yeah, that one's
That one's heavy.
You may want to.
It is.
You want take about Take
yeah,
a,
you
take
that,
a little
that's
bit.
one of
Take a
the
little
ones that
bit to think about that.
You got to sit with and walk around the corner right
That
quick.
question
and go,
was as heavy as British gravy.
I'm just saying, okay, I will say this much. The biggest waste of expenditure of American tax dollars in 2025 is how much we are paying fake ass ICE agents. I'm sorry. I said what I said. My tax dollars are helping to push Spanish speaking women down on the ground My tax dollars are being used to snatch little children out of hospitals where they're getting treatment for leukemia. My tax dollars are being used to harass people who are literally tax-paying working citizens, but the only reason they're being hemmed up is because they speak Spanish. We've just had a Supreme Court basically say, yeah, we can basically amount to what amounts to racial profiling. And everybody wants to keep acting like this is normal. I'm sorry. I said this before, and I will not back down on this. Whether it's Bree, who I think you are a very sweet person. Please understand it. I'm not in any way talking bad about you. I'm not. But I said this, and I'm going to stand on it. If a person sits in front of me and wants my vote, I want to know we're going to do something about this. This is illegal. This is breaking the 4th Amendment, the 5th Amendment, the 14th Amendment. And nobody seems to be giving a damn. Since we already know Donald is going to skate, Vance is going to skate, Kristi Noem might skate, Tom Holman is going to take the money and run because he already did it. He took $50,000 in a bribe. Cash Patel's so stupid we could just catch him with a net. But these ICE agents are the ones that are doing the damage.
Okay.
Why? I mean, can we not put these people on trial for their action? And then put them in jail?
It is absolutely illegal, yes. And I think those found guilty of breaking the law should be held to the highest extent of the law. It's breaking human rights, civil rights. And as someone who lives in a community that has a heavy, heavy migrant population, we are the poultry capital of the world. So we have had a 287G agreement with ICE long before this started, unfortunately. So I have seen firsthand how this breaks down a community I love and reside in. I believe that ICE needs to be dismantled and rebuilt. Immigration is a part of America. It is part of our processes. We cannot negate that. With that being said, again, I'd like to reiterate that they are not above the law and that ICE needs to be dismantled and rebuilt.
It seems, Thomas, your question is more suited for the ICC, the International Criminal Court. But here's the thing. You said something, Bree, that really stuck to me. I do agree that ICE needs to be dismantled. But here's my question. Does it really need to be rebuilt? Because for generations, we did just fine with Border Patrol and Customs, who were originally tasked with it. So would it be more beneficial, especially since this administration is about reducing fraud per Doge? So wouldn't it be in alignment with what the people want to just eliminate ICE?
So when I say rebuilt ICE, I don't mean in the same entity, in the same way, shape, or form. I think it needs to be rolled back into what it was as Border Patrol. Because if you look at the number of encounters and how they've been affected, we like you said, we were doing okay. We were doing fine with Border Patrol. And I think that we need to be less focused on rebuilding or dismantling, and the fact that right now what's happening is illegal. There are criminals around us in our communities, frightening families, breaking families. And that's the more important part. And again, rebuilt as in folded back into, not rebuilt as in pop back up again as ICE, because that wouldn't do any good.
I was gonna say, like, they need to be like officers of the system, like intake officers and clerks and interview and not necessarily judges, but everything along the line of immigration that the whole system.
And I would like to see higher measures of requirement for these positions. You should
Yeah.
you should you should be
because-
possessive of some kind of background that awards you this position to deal with legality, to deal with immigration, to deal with people.
Because right
the
now we got a
the
whole
system
ICE
takes,
system made out of
between
DEI
10
hires.
Even the shortest system can take, or the shortest immigration takes like 10 to 20 years. So we can shorten that too. We just don't have enough people, and you are to do it correctly.
I'm just saying, right now we have an entire agency of the federal government under Department of Homeland Security that is filled with a bunch of DEI hires. They dropped the age on these people. They gave them they were talking about giving them $50,000 bonuses and all this money, because I quite frankly believe Noam, Cash Patel, and Tom Holman know when Trump is gone, these people are going to jail. They're going to jail. You don't pay somebody that much money up front.
No, because you know what Trump's going to do.
Oh, there's a workaround for that too. I know what he's going to do. Oh, I know what he's going to do. I already know.
He's going to hit the easy button on all.
Yes, I listen. I know a workaround from it.
Pardons.
Whatever state they come
He's not
from.
going to be able to pardon them. He's not going to be able to pardon them. And the reason why he's not going to be able to pardon them is because their crimes are localized on the state level.
I would
There
have
is
every
no
state
workaround for
attorney
them.
general on that.
And because what they're doing are human rights violations, and because he is essentially declaring war city by city by city, that exceeds the jurisdiction within the United States. And that's why I said that goes to the ICC. But with the abductions, because that's what it is, that segues us into trafficking of all sorts. And the biggest set of files that people are concerned about are the Epstein/Maxwell files. So we know that people are calling for the release. Not going to ask you if you would sign to have them released, because there's a lot of nuance there. There are some victims that want it released, some that don't, and they're international.
We got the Amelia Earhart files.
Yeah, but they're also international victims.
Whoa, we got the what?
We got the
Amelia Earhart files are released. But what
a file?
Because they had to go look for her. They had
Keep
to use
up, man.
military
Damn.
to go get her. But here's the thing: what I will ask, and this is what a lot of people don't get asked while they're on the campaign trail: would you want to be placed on any of the committees that would be handling the oversight on this and deciding whether or not to bring charges against anyone found in these files that are currently sitting on Capitol Hill?
Wow.
So, as you know, unfortunately, you don't get a choice. I would say yes. My answer would be yes. And I want to be very succinct when I say that it is not party related. It is about right. It is about wrong. It's about violence. It is about the victims. That is it. And I think, again, lean more into, the trauma and the pain that's been caused and the people guilty of it. It doesn't matter what political aisle they fall on. It doesn't matter. All should be released and in the safest way for those involved. And the people guilty should be held accountable.
Now, I do have a follow-up for this.
Yes, ma'am.
Because of your background, would you also push, because it has been substantiated and corroborated, that our Department of Justice dropped the ball multiple times? So would you push for avenues to mental health treatment for these victims to help them be able to cope with day-to-day life and potential trials?
Oh, that's a resounding yes.
Ooh. Yeah.
Always.
And we also have to
that's
address.
that's a full stop.
Yep,
Yes,
full
we
stop.
also
Like
have
that.
to address
Yeah.
the elephant in the room.
Uh-oh.
If placed on one of these committees that would be overseeing these files and these cases, would you push for or co-sign on legislation that would not only reverse Ghislaine Maxwell being placed in a prison camp, but also tightening up to ensure that no one else could get a sweetheart deal when it comes to sexual assault?
So, so that is also a layer question, and it's one that aligns with my background, and not just from a mental health perspective or dealing with women who have been abused through my clinical office, right? Not very many people know this about me, but I was trafficked. I survived the Dominican part. And so that is something that is close to my heart for very many reasons, obviously. And putting it in legislation to advocate for women who were once in a position like mine, once in a position like the people in the files, is something that I'm not going to waver on. And so to answer your question,
I believe an emphatic yes.
it's
Not to step
Y'all
on.
talk about heavy.
Yes. Now
That's
to switch gears a little bit and
Please
have a
switch gears.
woosah, to have a
I'm
woosah,
begging you,
a
switch the
woosah
motherfucker.
of sorts. The United States, since the Civil War, has this obsession with tokenizing vets and using veterans as a shield from accountability. Would you align yourself with committees and legislation to finally get veterans the benefits that they're entitled to and the medical needs all the way around, mental, physical, etc., that they need, and ensure that their budgets cannot be touched as they have been touched under this Trump administration?
yes, their needs should be static. These all should be static for veterans. They should not be up for wavering on a spectrum or sliding scales. They should be static. They should 100% be static. Our veterans are so much of our country, but why do we see such high suicide rates? Why are our veterans not being taken care of? Why are our veterans unhoused? Why are our veterans unfed?
That's what I was going to say is why, especially the unhoused, especially the homeless, the homeless ones, like
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially since we have more houses than
other homeless. Yes, they are a problem, but homeless vets, that hits a little bit harder in some places.
And I also, something that's also really close to my heart, parity laws. So one thing the current administration has done is put a pause on the law. We've had them for quite some time, since the 80s. The Biden administration actually put into more law to strengthen parity laws. And what parity laws are is they require our insurance companies to treat mental health along the same lines as physical health. And so as someone in the clinical space, I'm seeing clients denied, more requirements from insurance, shorter approval times for clinical care. This is not okay. We have some of the leading rates in mental health issues. Our veterans are taking their own lives by such high rates. And at the same time, the current administration is actively taking away people's access, their ability to access mental health care. It is not okay.
Yep. I personally know of five of my former battle buddies who took their life. One of which was after a having to go every day with seeing the person that did it and not getting any sort of justice done, and she took her life. The 22 a day is a real thing, and I have seen in my time being on social media, a lot of people don't take that seriously. They don't. They tend to believe that, they make flippant comments. Like a veteran that fights against Donald Trump, somebody will go in their comment section and say, you should have been one of the 22 a day. That's not something to laugh about. That's not something to joke about. And it is one of the things that pisses me off about social media in general. And to see someone like Pete Hegseth, who I don't know what kind of soldier he could have possibly been. I don't. None of the actions that Pete Hegseth has taken in the time I've known about him, and that's before he was Secretary of Defense, I'm talking about on Fox News, I have never seen an officer act like him. And he is all about the lethality of the military rather than, the mission and the men. So I completely agree with you. Night, Jay Thomas. Go get some rest. I'll see you in the morning.
Night, Jay Thomas.
Jay.
Take care, Jay Thomas.
So that one is one of those things that is very close to my heart. And it is also something that I have seen our elected officials give a lot of lip service to, but a lot of them will not put their neck out there to say it's wrong the way we're treating our warfighters. You got right there. I'm got my vote, damn it. Switching subject, switching lanes again. How do you feel about certain members of Congress? These are going to be your peers, both on the Republican side and the Democratic side. One of the most famous or infamous Congress people that we have in Congress right now is Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm not asking you to bash that woman. I can do that. We call her Sloopfoot for a reason, but you don't have to.
We do that quite often.
Yeah, we do that to keep our teeth
for us.
Exactly, keep our teeth white.
That's what keeps the light on.
What are your thoughts on the body of work that is Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Well,
She is a piece of work.
I think she's consistent, and I commend her for that. I think she's consistent, and I commend her for that.
You know, that word consistent is filled with so many other things. I just wanted you to know we got it.
It's a very
we got it.
It's very
It's like when somebody in the
it's very
South calls
loaded
you special.
and yes,
When they
yes,
say you
yes,
special,
absolutely,
bless your heart.
absolutely.
Love the subject.
You are,
Yeah,
you,
that-
you are,
Ooh, that's a
you
tip.
are the,
Listen.
Yeah,
you are
that's
the peach in
I
mama's
am-
pie, honey. You are so special, and bless your, bless
That's
your
exactly-
wonderful heart.
that's
That answer
exactly
right
how it
there
is
people
here.
End up saying stuff like on a live going, "We love the TikTok shop." That's
I mean,
TikTok
I do
shop
love the
is the
TikTok
best.
shop. That's
TikTok
where my
shop
man
is the
ordered
best.
me from.
Consistent.
Let's not forget that the TikTok shop is where my man ordered me from.
So
and I
the-
bet you he's regretting not holding on to that receipt right about now as I keep running them up.
The TikTok shop is consistent because where else can you get a $30,000 Bugatti foam and a shrimp crab oil
the foam Bugatti.
Oh, let's not forget the pink sauce. Let's
And
not
the
forget
pink sauce to
moldy
go
pink
along with
sauce
it.
that people were getting.
and the pink sauce to go along with it? Where else can you get that?
And all of y'all that kept sending me the link for the pink sauce just because my favorite color is pink, I made a list. I made a
Matter of
list.
fact,
one by one. I hope
We
y'all
made
get
it
ticks in your
58
undercarriage.
minutes. We
One
made it
by
58
one.
minutes. To go
58 minutes,
completely
buddy.
Off the rails.
So listen,
Hey,
But
Ghost.
here's the
where else?
58 minutes, baby.
Hey, listen, where else can you get? Where else
We can
can you
do
get? No, listen.
We
Hear me out.
veered a
Hear me out.
couple
Hear me out.
times.
Where else can you get a foam Bugatti and a flamethrower
And a seafood
But
boil.
completely off
and
the
a
rails
seafood
58
boil?
minutes.
yeah.
Almost an hour. Almost an hour. I'm fairly impressed.
Nowhere.
The phone,
And nowhere you can get a
the
phone
Bugatti is never gonna not be funny.
The phone Bugatti is always going to be funny.
The phone Bugatti will always. I cannot not laugh at that. I can't. A foam Bugatti.
No, I wanted I call it the adult Hot Wheels. I just wanted an adult Hot Wheels. I wanted to spray paint it pink just so I could drive it to the store at the corner. Will I still get lost coming back? Probably. It's me. Okay. Probably. Do I make this trip to the store twice a week? Yes. Do I still get lost? Still yes.
It's a foam rubber
That's all
Bugatti.
right. It happened.
Listen.
So no,
Look, I almost
straight up
got
foam.
I almost got the phone Bugatti. Okay. I was this close to convincing my dad to buy it. Okay. Because I was like, hey, can I just borrow your American Express real quick? I just want to make one purchase. And then he was like, well, how much? Why are you asking all these questions? Why you asking all these questions? And then he looked at it and
too
he
many questions.
Too many questions.
You asking too many questions.
He almost did it. Then he read the description and realized it was foam. It told me no. But okay, getting back on track. Getting back on track.
Wait. Before we get back on track.
Doc.
Wait. Before we get on
Too many
track.
questions, Granddad.
Do y'all remember when y'all found out that y'all could buy seafood boil from the TikTok shop?
I was on this show when I realized
I know. Do you remember how that stopped the whole goddamn show? We were like, you could buy what on the where? What kind of
Yeah, man.
that shit shut us all the hell up.
But you know what? I thought it was a joke because let's not forget every Friday on my show, I allow people to send me crazy, weird stories for me to research. So I thought they were joking. But okay, getting back on track. In order to make the government go through, you have to do what's best for the populace, which means that bipartisanship must be a thing. We know that being bipartisan is getting more and more difficult because you have legacy Republicans, New Age MAGA / ultra MAGA, and then you have divisions emerging within the Democratic Party. Do you believe that you could achieve, whether on a small scale, medium or large, bipartisanship on Capitol Hill?
Absolutely. Again, I think if I can bring together the rooms that I bring together by use of language and coming from a genuine place of wanting to do what's best for the people, I think that any colleague or potential colleague would also agree that the needs of the people would be primary. Right?
Do you think that there's anyone overwhelmingly that would be difficult to work with? And if so, you don't have to reveal the plan, but do you have plans brewing in the back of your head to get them to do what's best for the populace?
I think in just like any workspace, there are people with different types of personalities, different views, different backgrounds that you have to figure out how to work with for the greater goal, right? The bigger goal, which is the wellness of the people. So with going into any space and wanting to work on a collective, it's having an understanding of different viewpoints, different backgrounds, different personalities, and adjusting language if needed, being firm on your goal, flexible on the method to, again, do what's best for the people.
Now, gotta ask. Oh, go ahead.
I do want to say, I understand that getting along is what makes government work, and I understand that completely. I remember the stories of Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill fighting or arguing back and forth, but after hours still being very cordial to each other and still, someone having some level of a friendship. But can we be honest? And Bree, I will ask this to you directly. Do you see any type of desire of bipartisanship? And now, mind you, this is the job that you want. This is the job you want. Okay. It wasn't like somebody pushed you out. They was like, either jump out this plane or run for Congress. This is something that you would like to have. But look at where you're working at. Can you possibly see yourself being bipartisan with anybody up there? I mean, come on. Like Paul Gosar's own siblings did not want him to be in Congress, and he's in Congress. The only reason Matt Gaetz ain't there is because Donald Trump is too stupid to realize, hey, maybe this guy shouldn't be your attorney general. We talked about Marjorie Taylor Greene. We talked about Lauren Boebert. Nancy Mace is breathing in the halls of the Congress. Can you really imagine yourself being bipartisan with these people? I mean, be honest. Just again, if this hurts your campaign, don't answer. But let's just be. Can you really honestly see that though? Seriously.
I mean, honestly, yes. I mean, I stick very firm to what I said. In terms of what my bigger goal is. And at the end of the day, I can be bipartisan and I can hold myself to a standard, right? And that is what I will always hold to.
Okay. I mean,
I know that Bree has to get out of here soon. So I want to ask you one final question, please. The last thing you say is always what people remember the most. And I want to ask this in particular. Politics in the United States has strayed away from the people and what the people actually need. A lot of times we, the people, say that we want the common man to represent us, the common man. What do you have to say to not just explain who you are, but encourage people not to give up on voting?
I said it earlier. I mentioned it earlier. I always want to do the compassionate thing. What I see now is a lot of brutality, and criticism without compassion is just brutality. And I think we as Americans can collectively agree that we want better as a whole. I want change we can build together. Right? We need this. We need it.
That's the slogan. That's the slogan.
We need it.
That could be a campaign slogan.
It is.
Want that
Things
on a
we can
shirt.
work together with because we need it. Like we kind of do.
And I want to say, Madam Bree Woodson, thank you for taking time to come and be with us. And once again, on TikTok, she is under the handle at The Controversial Blonde. Please be sure that not only do you follow, but click all of the links. If you can help, donate to the campaign, donate. If you cannot, or you're saying you're outside of the district, share, repost, duet, stitch the videos, get the word out, encourage other people to follow and get the word out as well, because it is we the people that can make the people better. Our planet is only as good as the least of us. And thank you, Bree, personally,
Absolutely.
for being amongst the best of us.
And to visit my
Yes, thank you
website,
so much.
BreeWoodson4Congress.com. You can click the link donate if you would like to contribute to the campaign, because we are grassroots. We are from the bottom up.
Okay. BreeWoodson4Congress.com is the website. Please go donate, and let's help this beautiful soul of a human being become our next U.S. Congresswoman, and not Torn Labor. I'm sorry, I cannot remember that woman's name. Listen, it's 10 o'clock. I got nothing. But Bree, thank you on behalf of all of us. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
We got you. You're welcome anytime. Anytime. You can come by.
Take care.
Now we don't have to be professional no more.
Look, I put this down in the notes because I wanted to ask y'all about it. Elon Musk's father has been accused of sexually assaulting his own children. This has been.
Well, he got 2 kids by his stepdaughter, so I believe it.
Of course.
oh God, this has been a known secret in the family, so much so that they asked Elon to step in, and Elon won't do it. He won't. So if Elon's daddy's a nasty bastard, does the apple fall from the? How far did the apple fall from the goddamn tree?
Not at all. Let us
the
not
man
forget
does daughter is
let's
nuts.
not
Whoa.
forget that Ghislaine Maxwell hails from a predator also. Her father took the yacht out and offed himself to avoid accountability. The only difference between Ghislaine Maxwell and Papa Maxwell is that she ended up in prison and he ended up at the bottom of the ocean.
Can we say something out loud? Hey, I know y'all love y'all some rich people. Y'all love what rich people do, and some of y'all actually honestly think y'all gonna fucking be rich people one day. You're gonna hit the lottery or invent something or whatever. Let me help y'all understand something. When you got that much fucking money, you tend to lose your goddamn mind. If I woke up tomorrow morning with Elon Musk money, and I mean real, not the shit that he's like out here doing some bullshit. But anyway, if I woke up with that much money, I at a certain point, there's only so many cars you can buy. There's only so many houses you can buy. There's only so many watches you can buy. There's only so much jewelry you can buy. There's only so much steak dinners you can eat. There's only so much bullshit you can do until you start doing some fucking weird shit. And if this motherfucker's been doing this for a hot minute, why ain't nobody stopped him?
But you're looking at the habits of new money, okay? You're looking at the habits of new money. They go out and buy stuff, and when they're done buying it, that's when they start doing weird shit. No, old money is afraid to spend their money. That's why we had a Rockefeller die in a fire due to hoarding. This is why we had a whole string of family members out of one family that drove themselves insane, and they started to have a suicide epidemic because they were afraid of becoming poor, and poor to them was having a $1 million in the bank. Okay, I need y'all to look at the Hammer family. Okay, the Hammer family.
It's about like the one from Arnie Hammer, Mr.
all of them.
Serial killer thinking
They're
motherfucker.
They're cannibals because when you have enough money to literally hide your crimes, because you can have compounds that are as big as cities, you don't have to pretend to be normal. You can be as crazy as you want to be, because who's going to tell? The love of money is for real. There are people who will let you take a chunk out of their skin if you give them a couple $100,000.
But I think I will be honest with you. I think old money is some of the nastiest motherfuckers on the planet.
Oh, they are.
If new money acts like this, old money is on some other shit. Them motherfuckers is vampires. Them people they are out here. Hey, find 5 Guatemalan children and skin their back off, and then bring the skin back so I can heal my own burns. Like these motherfuckers. You got
are reports of,
like the DuPont family. Look at fucking numbnuts DuPont.
There's a couple of serial killers. There's a couple serial killers in the DuPont family. And let's not forget that the DuPont family, how they originally set out to make their money isn't how they started making out their money. Just like the Coors family, the family behind the Coors. If y'all only knew all of the stuff that they're into,
the motherfucking Coors are
you've probably bought And see, when people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna boycott," you're not boycotting them, okay? Because even if you don't drink Coors, you bought laundry, you bought luggage, you bought laundry detergent, you bought porcelain items. They're into everything, and they get these businesses literally by accident because they're experimenting on other stuff. There are accounts of these old money family literally impregnating one another to keep up what they like, their preferences. They are literally breeding their own preferences, and they think that that's okay. For those of y'all that were in my live that one time where I said, "Hey, I can't say it on TikTok. I can't explain it to y'all on TikTok," to go look up an open family. Old money families are open families.
They are the fucking Targaryens. Oh, listen, if your money is longer than the OJ trial, if your money stretches back to, if it got slave fingerprints, some native and indigenous hair and cotton on it, that shit, you have fucked everything that you can fuck. You have fucked everything that will allow you to fuck
let's
it.
keep in mind that
you
old
will
money
eat, and you've
families,
eaten everything.
old money families also have an obsession with summer camps. This is why, as adults, they have these weird retreats, which are essentially summer camps. And I can't even say rich people summer camps, because the way that they're set up is how you would think of like the worst summer camp that you could go to. But they seem to have an affinity for having champagne and chili. I don't know what
Wait a
that
minute.
is
Wait.
about.
Chili?
What? Ew.
Chili and champagne. Like
That-
this
Who the
combination.
fuck would put them two together?
I don't know, but they like
Hey,
to go out in the
yo!
middle of the woods.
Ugh.
They make it seem like it's
Ew.
so exclusive, and it's because they're. You know how people will look at movies and try to emulate wealth and richness.
Yes.
Rich people are trying to, because they felt like, oh, it was invitation only. That's why I couldn't go to this summer camp. No, bitch, you just had money to go to a better summer camp. You didn't miss out on shit.
These people.
So
are the-
they're now giving out
fucking
invitations to
They-
full-grown adults to go and sleep like a Girl Scout or Boy Scout in the middle of nowhere and have chili and champagne. I wish I was fucking joking.
But think about it. Us
Do
poors.
do they put the chili in like a martini glass?
God, I hope not. Don't do that, Angry. I mean, Gambit. Don't do that. If they put chili in a goddamn, don't do that, man.
No.
Don't do that.
We-
Don't do that, man.
So no,
Okay,
we all
it
know.
The
It
other
varies.
alternative
Okay,
is
so
to
the
Okay, man,
come
we
up
all
with
know
So
it's a
champagne
really
glasses.
fancy
Come
bowl.
No,
on.
The fuck?
it's rumored that once upon a time at the Koch family summer camp that they didn't have actual bowls. They just put everything in a bread bowl. They stopped doing that when they started inviting Clarence Thomas. I don't know what the story is behind why they couldn't do bread bowls anymore, but like I said, this is alleged. Because the workers on there seem to be on a couple subreddits.
Yeah,
And
wouldn't
the
want it to be
subreddits-
too white.
The subreddits are like their therapy. And they go and they sit down, and they seem to be very amazed at talking to the handful of Black people that they've allowed to come. And word on the street is, once again, this is allegedly, that they sit there. You know how like you see a small child that
Yeah.
finally meets like somebody that's taller than everybody else in their family, or
Yeah.
a little bit more,
Mhm.
and they're like, oh, tell me what. That's how the white people are there, like with the Black people, like, how did you grow up? Is that really
The
what you
fuck?
eat at home? Do you,
Yo.
The fuck?
like I said, alleged. Y'all
the
know sometimes
fuck?
I can't sleep and I start researching stuff.
But
And
here's
when
the thing.
things were coming out regarding Clarence Thomas being bought and paid for and influenced, I did a deep dive, and he's been to all of these summer camps, and that's how I started learning about them. And there were two people who were willing to talk and started giving me information, and then their phones got disconnected. So.
Do you know? I want you to think about it. The poors, those of us on the ground, we got motherfuckers out here fighting transgender this and not the gay agenda, blah blah blah. That old long slave money people, they have fucked everything in that house. If there's an animal head on the wall, they fucked it, and nobody can say shit to them.
I need y'all to
Being
realize
trans to
where
them don't mean a
glory holes
motherfucking
came
thing.
from, and glory holes didn't start off with a person being on the other side of the hole.
No,
It was
I'm
just
telling-
the wall.
I'm
From
trying
I
to
need
tell
y'all to
you.
realize-
to
Do you
sad
know how
decisions, you're
depraved
safe,
you
slick,
have
and
to be
satisfied.
that you've decided?
With self-love lube and struggle love
Yeah,
condoms.
like you
It's a
you
sick
fucked
joke
everything
that the
in
guy
the house.
that
Yes.
used to have problems
Everybody,
with his
and then you
asses
just
has
start
to do
looking
this
at-
now.
That's why I wasn't shocked by JD Vance and the fact that it took him becoming the vice presidential nominee for people to want to make a big deal about not just him banging out a couch, but let me paint this picture for y'all again. Unprovoked, he reveals, to the point where Peter Thiel was like, let's take this out of the book, homie. Why did you share this? That on his wedding day, he walks into the groom suite, looks at his groomsmen, and starts to longingly think back to the fact that they shared a couch to boink. And nobody was disgusted by this. Nobody gave it a second thought until he became the vice presidential nominee. And those of us that are not into fucking everything, whether it moves or not, like that's gross. And then it started to dawn on people like, oh, that is gross. I need y'all to think these are the same people who used to make jokes about waiting for the spin cycle on the washing machine and then lifting the hood, the pop up, dropping something in there so that they could ride the wave of it. These are the same people who were going to the ER for getting they Vienna sausage caught in the vacuum cleaner.
Yes, that's why I said when you have, listen, new money, we act differently. New money, we act a goddamn fool. You will see a motherfucker done won the lottery and got him a fucking Lamborghini Diablo and can't drive stick. That's new money. Or you done bought all of the Jordans in different colors. That's new money.
They ground up the mummies, but it didn't just start there. Okay. And this is very this.
You know they've eaten a nigga.
Well, hold on.
They have eaten a nigga.
Wait a minute.
They have eaten one.
Because
at least one.
No, this is a true story. This is a true story. When you go over to Great Britain, okay, there are some steakhouses that look like churches because they used to be churches. There was a point in time where they were low on calves, but people still wanted steaks. So you get a funeral in the afternoon, steakhouse that evening. So when people go, no, they didn't eat black people, they were eating each other and not in the good way.
If you serve me a thigh steak from a motherfucker that they just did the last rice to, everybody in there gotta die. Everybody in that motherfucking room gotta die. I'm sitting there enjoying this shit. You tell me, oh, that's Sir Lloyd Fauntleroy, the guy at the funeral you went to today. I am killing every fucking person in that room. Everybody gotta die. I'm a politely put the food down, wipe my mouth. I'm gonna go back and get my shit. Everybody in that bitch.
Let's not forget the woman on TikTok who admitted that she had a part of her body removed. She kept it and cooked it. Another man admitted that he amputated a part of his own body and made tacos out of it and fed it to his friends. And when his friends found out, they wasn't even mad about it.
Oh no, he could. Okay. Okay. Serve me a Doug taco. Serve me a fucking Doug taco.
I did a live.
I will kill your whole fucking family.
But no,
I will off everybody in that bitch.
I did a live with a friend of mine, and we've been friends since I was 15 and she was 14. And we joke, because my dad, I've talked about this before, that he's real cool with a bunch of farmers and butchers and stuff. So he gets all different types of animals. The quickest way
you never want me to have it over at your house?
Yeah, but I always make sure that people know that if I'm inviting you and my dad's grilling, like, hey, yes, we have chicken, but this is gonna be bison. Like, are you okay with bison? Like, this is like I'm self-conscious about
a bison.
That.
But I'm not gonna eat in bison.
But I'm saying
everybody gotta die.
I'm self-conscious about telling people that. Like, I have a sister-in-law that makes some amazing venison chili, and I will keep telling people, like, hey, before you get a bowl of this is venison. I could not imagine cooking a whole person and not telling people.
Doug, you listen, venison, bison, rabbit.
So that's what we got on the menu today. We got Doug. We've got Keith. We've got Tony.
Everybody we got I'm gonna blow the building up. You feed me a motherfucker named Doug. I'm gonna finish the bite in my mouth. I'm gonna say,
we got Tony Shasher.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Season with Tony
I'm blowing this whole
Shashery.
motherfucking building up. Everybody in that bitch gotta die. Everybody. I'm going outside calling the wife like, hey, don't even worry about the bail money. When they come get me, just have my suit ready for the trial. Everybody in that fucking building gotta die.
You got the 2T
chili. You served me a motherfucker that was just in a casket. Everybody gotta die.
You got the 2T chili.
Done.
And here's the thing. I found out about this on accident. I was asked to help somebody track down, like, do a complete family tree. And there were 2 family members we could not find burial plots for, and they're from England, right?
The fuck?
So I kept researching, got it down to a church, okay? Could not find any online records for the church. Fine. I'm not in the UK. I'm not in England. Okay. Found some people online who worked there. So I was like, hey, can you just help me? Maybe I got a wrong spelling or whatever. I do this a lot where I contact people, and generally speaking, they don't break any laws or anything, but they'll help point me in the right direction. And one person was like, I could tell you this, but it might freak you out. So you might just want to have the family contact. And I was like, if it's going to freak me out, it's probably going to freak them out, because the lady who asked me, she got 1 foot in the grave already. And she said, yeah, there's no records of this family member because they were probably lied to and an empty box was buried. Sorry, what?
Everybody got to die. Everybody, the whole building.
And I was like, huh? So I thought this lady was lying to me. So I started contacting a bunch of people over in England. Like, hey, do you know about this? Is this true? Is that, yeah, it was a thing. And some
Everybody
people knew. Some people were like, hey, we don't even like this person. We'll just sell
and
you
they
the body.
Knew. Hold on, wait. And they knew everybody got to die. Everybody in that fucking building has got to go to see. They going to the upper room. It's going to be me, Mahalia Jackson, and the goddamn Boab bird. Feed me a motherfucker. But that's what I mean. Old money does weird shit, and our poor dumbasses don't know it because we are not. I don't have old cornpone Beauregard the fourth slave money.
Yeah, but there was one wealthy family that they realized that they were going to lose all of their wealth because the Civil War told them they couldn't own slaves no more.
You can't own.
Instead of going out like that, they kind of arbitrarily decided who was going to survive in the family and who wasn't. And to make sure, because they were afraid that their former slaves would dig them up and do stuff to the body, like that's not our thing.
I'd dig it up to shit in your mouth and put you back in the ground.
The ones
again.
that they decided weren't going to be able to live off this money, okay? They didn't bury them. They had Thanksgiving early.
Everybody gotta die.
Do you get how despicable they are? Like, first of all, I could just go get a job. Like, why? I don't need the money. Like, that all money ain't good money, but you gonna kill me because you decided I can't have the inheritance. And even after you killing me, you can't just bury me. You gonna put me in the unseasoned dressing?
Listen, I'm gonna walk in with a bucket of bullets, a 6-shooter, and a potato over the a bag of potatoes. I'm killing everybody in there, motherfucker.
Learn seasonings first, okay? Give me a good brining. Marinate me first. Season me real good, okay?
Can you imagine just kill me and then Hannibal Lecter in your ass? Have y'all ever seen? Y'all watched the show Hannibal, haven't y'all?
Yeah.
The first fucking episode, this motherfucker is cooking lungs. No, second episode, he's cooking lungs, and he's out there. He's got them in the pan. He done pressed all the air out of them. He's chopping these motherfuckers up. He putting shit, and he's got this music playing in the background, some Chopin or some shit, and he is cooking these fucking lungs. If you serve me human lungs, call somebody, because I'm killing every motherfucker in the building. And that's the other thing about rich people. The other thing about really, 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 really old rich people is nothing is off the table. If you've done crack, they've done cocaine from places you can't find on a fucking map. If you got some pussy, they have fucked Kofi Luwak cats. If you bought a car, they bought something that literally the restoration is more than your life insurance. They don't do small things.
They're collecting cars as their new gold bars. Like, this is the new investment. But not only that, white people from old money are the most paranoid people ever. This is why they never have completed houses. They will hide the blueprints and not tell people exactly what they want. Their houses are constantly under construction. They'll have stairways and doors that lead to nowhere. They think that folks from the afterlife are coming back to get them. This is why clairvoyance and everybody, they're easy picking.
You got that slave money.
Because they're just like, oh yeah, well, if you give me $3,000, I'll give you this protection spell for bitch.
I just think the way
may I never have that kind of money.
Exactly.
Right.
I think the way we worship rich people is disgusting because we worship them as if these motherfuckers
Also,
are infallible because they have all this money. Oh no. They've got nastier appetites than you have ever imagined. If your pastor is touching kids, an old money motherfucker that touched a whole school bus full of them motherfuckers.
Well, not only that,
and every one of them kids is in college right now, and none of them remember. Come on.
But the richer somebody is, the more likely it is that they're stupid. They cannot survive on their own. They don't know how to do anything on their own.
Rochester, where's my butler?
A lot of times,
Rochester.
They have horrible teeth because they don't know how to brush their teeth on their own. They don't think of things like that. Their hygiene, they can't make toast. These people,
they cannot live on their own.
Reliant
I think
on
if I had
everybody
that
else
kind
to
of money
do
right now,
everything
I would just have a
for
really
them.
clean house.
Trolfaz, where's my butler, Trolfaz? I can't pick out my own panties. Where's
I
Trolfaz?
have a really clean house.
I wish I could remember the publication that it was in, but it was about maybe 15 to 17 years ago. There was a collection of people who used to work for the super wealthy. And a lot of them were like, hey, the statute of limitation is out. They can't do anything. So I'll tell you what I did. And they said they used to low key defraud these people because they didn't know how much anything cost. And they were afraid to go to the grocery store. So they would tell these people that a loaf of bread was $30 and pocket the rest of them. And my thing is, I'm not mad at them because when I found out how much they were paying these people, well below minimum wage.
Shit.
I get it. They was nickeling and dime. Well, I can't say nickel and diamond. They was 20 and 50 and
Sir, we have
their way through it.
Sir, we have to fix the Bentley. The Bentley has a nice
because when people ask about the grocery store,
$45,000.
Erewhon, and they're like, how can Erewhon exist? Because you have rich people who really believe that they're getting a deal by paying $20 for a gallon of milk.
Oh shit!
Hey.
Trolfaz,
I'm leaving here with
Trolfaz, how come the Bentley's not working?
Well, Mr. Kane, the reason it's not working is because you have to put a new engine in there, so it's going to cost about $45,000.
Trolfaz, why didn't you tell me the engine was messed up in the Bentley? Here's $50,000 in cash.
Go get it fixed. Take it right around the corner of my cousin.
Now,
get it done for $300.
I'm not gonna lie. I was very much in college before I started to realize what things cost. Because I never had to pay for anything growing up. Between my parents and grandparents and going on vacation, I didn't know. I thought everything was pretty cheap. Okay, but now what I thought was cheap, I'm not.
Your cheap and my cheap ain't the same cheap.
But I remember, and shout out to my first roommate. You a real one, girl. I lay you down. I lay you down to this day. There was a young lady that was like, hey, I'm going to get groceries. I can get groceries for you. And I'm like, I got everything. I just needed 3 things. Wrote the little 3 things on there. And I'm like, okay, how much do I have to give you? Because I was going to go to the ATM and get the money out. And she's like, oh, it should be about $100 to get those things. I'm like, oh, okay. Now, in my mind, because big family, we went to Sam's Club, Costco, bought things in bulk. One, I'm thinking it's in bulk, but still didn't have the pricing right. My roommate looked at her and was like, I'd have slapped the taste out your mouth. That is not how much it costs. And she looked at me and she said, every Sunday, because this is before we had the internet the way we have now. She was like, every Sunday, I'm going to take you. We're going to get a Sunday paper and we're going to go over this stuff with you. And don't get nobody no money to go get nothing for you until you ask me.
I think in a lot of ways we have been warped by what wealth is and what wealth can do. Because money, Randall, please get a new Kindle. He done cooked this goddamn Kindle.
Oh shit.
He cooked he spilled a whole cup of coffee on it.
Put in some rice.
Yeah.
I find it odd the way Americans look at wealth and the way Americans treat wealth. Because I get it. Money makes the world go round, great, fantastic, whatever. But they act like these rich folks are just walking through the world like they they can do no wrong. We have to think about them. Fuck them. They put their pants on like my daddy said.
And they're the worst money managers ever. That's why I laugh when they're trying to give money advice, because wealthy people will have no problem quickly spending money on stuff that they should not, but the stuff that they need to pay, like necessities, they will ask for extensions.
Yeah,
they are the ones that will pay the most interest on stuff, the most late fees and stuff like that. It's freaking ridiculous. And this is why they're paranoid, and they're constantly shortchanging employees, raising prices, because this is a lesson from the Civil War. People thought that they would have free labor forever, so they're like a kid with allowance. That money would literally burn a hole in their pockets. They would spend it. So at the end of the Civil War, and they still didn't learn their lesson. They get the money, they spend it.
The worst thing that ever happened to old money is the freeing of Negroes.
Yeah. And here's the thing.
Damn it!
And
I now have to figure out how to cook my own food.
And this is how stupid the wealthy is, because they've convinced themselves that consumers and workers are two different groups of people. Now, I don't know how they think that consumers without a job are able to buy all this stuff, and that workers who have jobs just don't spend any money on anything, but this is their mentality. They don't want to pay you a livable wage, but they want to keep increasing prices, but they want new yachts and mansions built and staff. Who the fuck is supposed to do that? Who's supposed to buy these products so that you can have the money to go buy your yacht when you don't allow the pay to equal what you want to charge for the products?
Exactly. They don't get it, because it's to them $1,000 is like $10 to us. So they're not looking at it from the standpoint of, well, I thought everybody could do it. Like they don't understand the concept of hardship, which is what bothers me so much about how many people still worship.
This is why they don't understand it. The vast majority of them, they're CEOs on paper, not in reality. They don't work, but they always have money in their bank account. So they're delusional enough to think that it literally is just there and everybody else can do it. So it doesn't matter what you pay people. They can just afford these things. Because think about it. If you never, ever, ever work, but every time you swipe your card, it never declined, and that's all you know, your reality is skewed. And I'm saying this, not never at the level that like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are at, but I'm saying this as somebody who had a rude awakening of having, like, the early days. I had a Genie card that was like from my parents and grandparents, were swipe, 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 swipe. I did not have a job. I was a teenager and then a college student. Just swipe, swipe, swipe. It worked. Then I was then responsible for myself. And the breakdown I had when I realized there was a limit, like what I made that went into the bank, there was a limit, and I went to the store to get something.
That shit was quick, wasn't it?
And it was like decline. I'm not embarrassed by it no more, because I cry over everything. When I literally laid on the floor in front of this register, like, ain't no way you gonna tell me I don't have money and I can't. And was I getting a necessity? No. It was
just
a
regular, ass shit.
And it's this thing. So I know, and I'm not making excuses for them, but I know how delusional you can be. And until I was responsible for all of my finances and my family took a step back, like, okay, she needs to, like, my brothers were already getting it. Like, my brothers were like, yeah, we know where the money's coming from. Like, we don't know how you didn't figure it out with your IQ. They had to take a step back, and I had to snap out of it, because I would be probably worse than they are if I didn't have it. Because if that's all you know, you start looking at people like, well, why can't you do it? Like, why is it so hard to start a business? Why is it so hard to do this? Why? Because it's not clicking. It's not clicking because every time you swipe, every time you write out a check, you're not worried about it because somebody else is dumping it in there.
I get mad at this idea that the wealthy, we really should we should do more for the wealthy. No, we shouldn't. Man, fuck them. Hey, Donna, how you doing? Like, fuck them.
There's
I'm
nothing
sorry.
to do for the wealthy. There really isn't. And here's the thing with what was it Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton. First of all, shout out to Paris Hilton because that heifer needs an Oscar. She needs an Oscar. She has done an amazing job of convincing people over the years that she's dumb as shit. Her nor
She
her
really
sister
has.
are stupid. She made a brand and got money on her own outside of her family by pretending to be stupid. And it took, some people still haven't figured it out. But when Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton had their reality TV show, I was like, people are joking and making fun of them, understandable. But I was like, you don't even have to be that rich to have the same reactions that they're having. I was like, there are people at regular parochial schools and just local private schools that have that same experience because their parents are preparing them for the mentality of becoming the Musk, of becoming the Bezos, or marrying to that point, because they believe that they can never go backwards, that each generation will go forward. They act as if they're never going to run out of money, but they don't cultivate the education and encourage innovation in their offspring to be able to sustain how they've made money.
Not to mention it, and can we just be dead ass honest about this? You ain't taking that shit with you.
You're not, but there's
You're
so
not.
many
You
people,
gonna die, and that shit gonna be here.
But here's the
Why
thing.
are you hoarding some shit that you can't even keep?
There was one guy. His grandparents were amazing people. They owned a store, and it was like a New York style bodega, but outside of New York, and it was in a place where a lot of these people, they didn't have a grocery store that near them, within walking distance, or even within a short car ride. So for people to be able to get hot food, sandwiches, groceries, all of these different things, these people had it on lock. Grandfather passed away. He was a vet. Family was so stupid they tried to deny this man being a freaking Navy SEAL, and there are blogs and like he's in museums. Like, this man was a legit war hero, but to this day his family tries to deny it. Okay, rock star of a man.
Tracina.
Take care, Tracina.
Grandfather passes away. Grandmother is like, hey, it's a little rough me going into work. This is the only job I've ever had. I've worked it alongside my husband. Hey, grandson, your mom doesn't want it. You want to take it over? It's easy peasy. There's an apartment on top of here. We live 2 blocks down. If it gets bad, I will come and help you. But hey, I just can't do the day to day. And I understand. If you've only had one job and you stood next to the love of your life every day, it can be a little hard going into that. Grandson was like, sure, I'll take it over, Grandma. Within 2 weeks, he sold the business.
Shit.
So then Grandma gets sick and dies. It's expensive to pay for 2 back-to-back deaths, even with insurance and everything else. And then he realized, oh, shoot, I still got to pay, because they had a Sears house. They bought the land, built the house on top of it. So they're just paying for the land.
Yeah.
The cost of the land, all this other stuff, and the people he sold the store to shut it down and just turned the whole building into apartments.
Of course. Because
he was pissed because now he had to go get a job. And I'm looking at him like, you had staff. So even if you're like, oh, I didn't want to work the schedule that my grandparents did, they worked because that's what was keeping them alive, and they liked the time together. But there was staff. All you had to do was make sure payroll was done.
That's it. And again, we give way too much credence to rich people. These are some of the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet. These are some of the most ignorant ass goddamn people that has ever existed. Same stupid ass motherfuckers doing the same stupid ass thing. Oh, well, you know, I'm a Rockefeller, and bitch, did you invent a new way to put your fucking pants on? You're still a fucking idiot.
Hell, look at the Kennedys. The Kennedys are allowing Trump to erase their family's everything, their complete legacy.
Hey, I could not be the cousin of motherfucking Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Well, the one he's all over social media.
I would catch his bitch ass. I would catch him someplace and beat the fuck out of him.
Petitions out, and the rest of the family is like, "Don't do that. Be quiet." He's like, "No, screw this." He's like, "We've had family members die for this." Yeah. And he's like, "We're petitioning." And I'm like, Maria Shriver, look, I know Arnold broke your heart and evidently your coochie and the maid's coochie, okay? But I need you to get it together and come out of retirement and be the Barbara Walters for this generation. And
you need to do something.
Because he's taking down your whole family.
Her cousin out here tripping. Her cousin out here losing his mother. I would beat Robert F. Kennedy could never come anywhere near me for like dinner or some shit. I would beat the shit out of him. I'd catch him between the mashed potatoes and whoop his motherfucking ass. You are fucking up our goddamn family name with this bullshit. I would
catch him between the mashed potatoes and the yams.
Yes. Listen, as the motherfucking bowl is coming by, as soon as I'm getting my mashed potatoes, then I'm gonna put him down and knock his ass the fuck out. The fuck is wrong with you?
RKO.
Fucking up all the church
out of
money.
Nowhere.
Just fucking it up. I would whoop his ass. I'd whoop his ass.
They fucking with the Kennedy Museum, the Kennedy Center.
Yes. And then they got
just
this
sitting
fucking,
back letting it happen.
Then they got this fucking Gundam suit human with a brainworm operator, fucking combiner transformer head ass motherfucker up here.
You know, if you take too much Tylenol, during your pregnancy, what ends up happening is you tend to, your baby comes out with autism. Now, what I think you should do is let your child dance in the river with dog shit in it.
Fuck him. I'd be beating his dog. It would not be safe on the streets for him.
I didn't understand a word you said until
it would not be safe for that motherfucker.
With dog shit in it. And
yes. It would not be safe for him. It wouldn't. I promise you. RFK Jr. is not. Listen, if I was a goddamn Kennedy, it would not be safe in the streets for him. Hey, you better stay home, dog.
I would think about taking the kids to the beach. I heard that some penguin bodies they came up on the shore.
Hey, don't go to that beach.
Why not?
Somebody gonna fuck you up. You go to that beach. I'm talking about hitting him with a car and then getting out just to make sure his ass ain't dead and beating the dog shit out. I'd whoop his ass. This motherfucker fucking up our family legacy, and your stupid ass is right next to him talking about,
it was Tylenol that caused all the autism.
I'd whoop his ass.
I would treat him like I treat my
shit out of him.
And y'all seen the picture of my nemesis.
I'd whoop his ass.
I would treat him like he was my nemesis.
Hey, Thomas, would you whoop his ass?
I'd whoop his ass.
Hey. I would use her to whoop his ass.
Thomas,
I would use her to whoop.
On the whooping of ass.
Would you whoop his ass?
I could use her lips alone to whoop his ass.
Let me tell you something.
Because that's got to feel like a wet
your nemesis. I was thinking about this earlier today. Because I looked at their picture, right? And I kept thinking of all the songs that she looks like in human form. Like that bitch looks like the Monster Mash as a person.
Mean when I refer to her as my nemesis. I'm being nice by saying nemesis.
Listen, that bitch looked like the Monster Mash as a person.
Everybody on this panel has seen the picture. I think I'm being nice by just saying she's a nemesis.
That bitch look like the song Godzilla. If it could buy groceries.
And I promise you, if it has to do with me, she has to come in trying to outshine. Bitch, you can't.
Hey.
You can't.
Hey, you remember the song Can We Still Be Friends by Todd Runyon? That's what she looks like as a
recently person. Oh, I didn't tell y'all. She recently got offended. She recently got offended.
Oh God.
Because we were sitting side by side, and they were talking to me, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, well, you'll understand all the stress that she has when you become her age." Bitch, I am like 13 years older than her. What are you talking about?
That bitch looked like BBL Drizzy as a person.
And because she's tried to she lies about who her kids are, and I was like, you don't realize that ages you also. Like, you're trying to take credit for a 32-year-old grown ass man.
Woo, that bitch. She needs to take credit.
And people will believe that man came out of your cootie cat because you look old as shit.
Listen,
like how you got fix-a-flat in your lips.
Listen,
Biscuit, order up.
Listen, that bitch looked like a Gaspar no fucking movie. Why that bitch look like what would happen if her entire face looked like it was directed by Gaspar No.
Somebody said she looked like a run over gnome.
Ah!
And I cannot unsee it. I cannot unsee it. Whoa, hold on, wait a second.
That bitch face is gnome. I mean, I'm trying to tell you, man. That bitch look she look like Johnny Cash hurt.
Ooh. Okay. Oh, well, in our last,
right,
our last few minutes, hold on real quick. In our last few minutes, the Mormon shooter identified as a U.S. Marine veteran. Thomas Jacob Sanford, 40, from Burton, was confirmed as the shooter at a Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints chapel in Grand Blanc Township, about an hour from Detroit.
Dang.
This is why I say,
God, dang.
Veterans need to be taken care of.
That much. Thomas, what did you have to say about Keg Breath calling the meeting?
About hygiene?
No,
all he wants to do
all the
generals and admirals in the motherfucking United States military are going to the secret meeting on Tuesday. Well, it's not secret anymore because Donald Trump decided to go to it. Donald Trump is going to it.
Yeah.
So it's not secret.
It's
going to be out in public.
About hygiene. And it's because Pete Hegseth said that if any pictures get out, it looks better to have, and I quote, the guys with stars on their jackets.
And now y'all know why I retired. Now y'all know why the fuck I retired. As we like to do every week on this show, we like to have our final thoughts. And tonight we're going to go ahead and start with Taz J because she is the Barbara Wawa of this place. Taz J, final thoughts, please. Barbara Wawa.
Okay, first, I'm going to need y'all to stop thinking that I'm being mean when it's time to interview people. We got to be impartial, and we have to ask the hard questions, even if we like the people.
Do you, though?
Okay? All right. Now, my final thoughts are this. It's time to let go of the excuses. Whether you run for office, back somebody that's running for office, or you do the work of educating people or encouraging or spreading the word of educators, everybody has to do something. Third, do not ever refer to me as underrated. I'm not underrated. I'm fucking amazing. What I am is undersupported. If you don't like it, increase the support, not just for me, but everybody out here getting into the good trouble and doing the hard things that you don't want to do or you can't do. I realize everybody isn't built for everything. You might be built to be the cheerleader. You might be built to be the chorus, the wind beneath everybody's wings. But stop saying that people are underrated. We're not underrated. We're undersupported. Fix it.
Wow. Angry. The angriest IT nerd on the East Coast. Final thought.
So, last night, I went out for the first time in like years, and to meet up with some friends that came from out of town, and I've not seen them in like almost 10 years. That was something that I needed that I didn't know I needed. So my final thought is to anyone, because I had to get encouraged in order to do this, because I really didn't want to go out. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to, but I got the foot in my ass to get the fuck out, go see my friend, because I haven't seen her in years, and just enjoy the moment. So to everybody, I say, I will give you the foot in your ass to go out and do something. Go out and do something. And it's something that you probably know. You probably didn't know you needed it until after you're done. So live your life. Go out there and do it.
Yeah, but
It'd
when
be
I do
fine.
it, y'all be trying to take my devices away from me.
It'd be fine. Just go out and do it. It'd be fine.
A little bit too much.
It'd be fine. Trust me. If I do it, you can do it. It'd be fine.
Yeah.
See, Gilbert
See?
said it'll be fine, so
All right.
I'm gonna do it.
The General Gambit. Final thoughts.
Self-love lube gets you wet. Struggle love keeps you from regret.
This.
Words of
No,
wisdom.
seriously.
Words of wisdom that we can all live by.
No, it's been a great show. I enjoyed the interview, and I'm glad we could get this taken care of, or get this done, or
Yep.
have some serious. Yeah, I got nothing.
All right.
You guys have a good.
All right. And for my final thoughts, I'm going to give y'all a scenario. Tell me if this makes any sense. You have $1,000 burning in a hole in your pocket. You decide you're going to go buy some tickets to see former Vice President Kamala Harris live. Pay for your ticket. And the day comes and she's there and you are in the room. You have paid almost $1,000 to get here. And you get there. She comes out and Aaron Parnas is interviewing her and you decide to heckle her with free Palestine. You have got to be the dumbest motherfucker breathing air in the vicinity of that building. And the reason I say that is this. Far leftists, y'all have lost the plot of whatever fucking story it was that y'all were trying to write. Because you are heckling a person who literally has no power. They are a private citizen. That's like heckling me on this show about Palestine. I am not the motherfucker that makes the goddamn rules. I don't make any decisions. I have no power. Kamala Harris has about as much power as I do. I say that because of how much vitriol far leftists gave up just to be able to go heckle Kamala Harris. And I'm also saying it because of the glaring omission that y'all continue to have. And that is, none of you will heckle Trump. None of you will heckle a Trump event. None of you will heckle a MAGA event. Now, on the one hand, y'all are looking at it from the standpoint of, hey, free Palestine, Kamala. And okay, you got that one off. Good job. Why are y'all so afraid of MAGA? Why the black woman always got to get that work? Why? She's been getting that work literally for the 107 days she ran for president and almost every day since. And you are fucking up your own money. You are stepping on your own fucking dope. Because what you're doing is you're pissing off everybody else that has to live and be in this situation, this hellscape that we're living in now. You made your statement. You voted for whoever the fuck else it was that you voted for. You didn't vote for her. She didn't win. Trump did. But rather than y'all learning anything from that mistake, you are doubling, tripling, quadrupling down. And you're being nasty about it. See, if y'all had heckled and said nothing, we're going to look at you and go, all right, you look real fucking stupid, but okay. But it's your nastiness. You still out here shitting on black people. You still out here shitting on anybody that tells you this is the stupidest goddamn attack we've ever seen. You're still doing it. You're still doing it. Over and over, day in, day out, over and over. You are all barking at the wrong fucking people. And it makes us all think, A, you're anti-black and anti-black woman, which Some of you have proven this. But more importantly, what you're also proving is your cowardice. So you don't want any change in Gaza. You just want to be able to argue about it. You want to be able to go to places like Kamala Harris's fucking book tour and argue and fuss and get mad and heckle. You don't want any fucking change. You're afraid of MAGA. You are afraid of MAGA. I just wish you motherfuckers would say the shit. I get it. I've been afraid of some shit too. If I saw Brock Lesnar in a bloodlusted state coming out of a fucking alley, I'd be a scared motherfucker. But the difference between me and Brock Lesnar being in bloodlusted and you and fucking Kamala Harris is y'all know goddamn well that woman has no fucking power. You're just doing it now to be antagonistic. And come 2026, y'all still gonna be at it. Then you're gonna start getting cussed out. You're gonna start getting cussed out. We are 9 months in to this hellscape that is Donald Trump's return to the fucking White House. There is a goddamn mausoleum being built right next to the fucking White House, which is a testament to his own ego. And you motherfuckers had the nerve to spend thousands of dollars to go heckle a private fucking citizen. You don't give a fuck about Gaza. You don't give a fuck about the Palestinians. You don't give a fuck about the reputation that you motherfuckers are tearing up. The only thing you care about is being seen. I'm telling you right now, y'all got about, I'll give you 4 more months of this because the midterms are coming. And if you're still on that bullshit, people are going to stop being nice to you. Kamala Harris is a private citizen, but she's also a public figure, and she was real nice. Try that shit in these goddamn midterms. Try to persuade people to vote the way Jill Stein wants y'all to vote. Somebody's going to fuck you up. Whether it's verbally or physically, somebody's going to fuck you up. We don't have time for your petulant, childless nature. Get it the fuck together, because you're starting to piss us off if you haven't already pissed us off before. The disrespect y'all showed to black women is enough for me to not like any of you. I don't like any of you simply because of the disrespect I saw Taz and Tabitha Speaks and Lady Sankofa and other black women. I saw what y'all did. And y'all already on a bad foot with me as it is. Try this shit in 2026 and there's gonna be some fucking problems. Either pick a side, pick a lane, and stop being pussy about wanting to fight for something, or keep this shit up and watch what the fuck happens. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of this show. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. Conversation with T. Nathan is up next. For Angry, for Gambit, for Taz, and for myself. First off, thank you, Bree, for coming in and doing an incredible interview. And for those of you who are watching and listening, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. We will see you all in 7 whole days. Ladies and gentlemen, the villains are out. Good night, y'all.